Haven's Hollow is one of the most unique resurgence maps we've ever had. So in today's video, we're going to be going over 10 of the most important tips that you need to understand if you want to get more kills, die a little less, and pick up more wins. Let's lock in. So when it comes to Haven's Hollow, there's one really important thing that you need to understand before we get into these 10 tips, and that is the dynamic of the map. There's one really important thing that I want to highlight for you, and that has to do with the POIs, okay? So when we look at the TAC map here, there's 9 labeled POIs, right? We've got train station, pond, mansion, barn, main street, riverboat, lumber mill, coal depot, and research center. 9 labeled POIs. But in reality, there's only 4 POIs, okay? We've got mansion. People obviously spend a lot of time in mansion. We've got research center here. A lot of action will happen at research center. Then the third one for me is barn and main street. Even though these are labeled separately on the TAC map, honestly, they function as one. Like, if you're fighting at barn, you're going to be fighting people at main street. If you're fighting people at main street, you're going to be fighting people at barn. Like, those really act as one. And then you have kind of lumber mill and coal depot, which I noticed have really played together. Besides that, I mean, look, riverboat, I get it. It's out here, but that's kind of on the outskirts of the map, and then they're going to rotate into main street. Train station here, pond. Like, I get they're labeled POIs, but they're not really major points of interest, in my opinion. So you really have 4 main POIs. Now, why is that so important? Well, first things first, tip number 1 is your landing spot, right? We have 48 players, so slightly bigger than Rebirth, which means no matter where you land based on those 4 major POIs, you're going to have people close by to you. You are very rarely going to have a situation where you land in early and nobody else is around you. There's going to be at least one other team, if not multiple, that are in the same POI or like very, very close to you. Close enough that you need to worry about them and you potentially need to be ready to fight early. What does that remind you of? Fortune's Keep. And that's where I think this map really plays a lot like Fortune's Keep. The POIs tend to bleed together at times. Like, there is some separation, but there's also not. So right here, like, I know those guys are close by. I hear the glass. Right? So we're just going to kind of keep working through here. We're playing with that same strategy, trying to act on information. And then, of course, guys, we do have those minimap pings. We're going to go back to minimap pings throughout. It's super, super important. I don't need to highlight this one too much here, but we'll highlight some a little bit later on and why they are even more important on this map. So we got 2 guys straight across here. I am playing trios, by the way. So we're just going to kind of let this play a little bit. You know, I hear somebody floating around this way. And what do we notice right here, guys? Positioning, positioning, positioning. Very similar to Fortune's Keep. Positioning is going to be very... I haven't played Call of Duty in a while. Okay, this is my first time back in like 2 months, and the aim was looking a little shaky. We're going to keep working on it. I've got a practice video for you guys coming out soon. I promise you. I got you guys. And by the way, if you are looking to get better at Warzone, specifically Haven's Hollow or Rebirth, I always say this, guys, give me 30 days. I'm back making coaching content. If you want to get better, subscribe down below, watch my videos. I promise you'll become a better player. If not, after 30 days, let's be honest, guys, you could always unsubscribe. I totally get it. I guarantee you that's not going to happen. Now, we're going to go and keep pressure on here. Obviously, playing solo trios, need to keep in mind those other teammates. Where are they? Right, so we see this guy over here. Now, pause. What's your thought process right here? Okay? We got the guy to my left. He's low plates. I could maybe potentially go put the pressure on. Here's some people floating around here. I end up getting shot from that side, right? So kind of in a little bit of a weird spot. Let's go ahead. We're going to get plated. Now, in this moment, this is where we need to get loadout down as soon as possible, right? That doesn't change no matter what map you're playing on. Get loadout down as soon as you have enough cash. Even if you need to stop fighting for a second, get that loadout down, give yourself the advantage. Still obviously worried about the guy that shot me over here. I just don't know exactly where he is yet. That's part of learning the map. This is a little bonus tip, guys. I would recommend either in Resurgence Casual or something like landing at the different POIs, learning the different buildings, learning the different jump spots, learning the different angles, because that's going to really help you with your decision-making process. So we were ready to fight early. We were able to win that early game, get loadout down, and now we're really going to see that positioning dynamic ramp up. The reason positioning is so important on this map is because it's a little bit harder to finesse, you know, and I think that the sight lines in terms of how many angles you can get shot from can be crazy. Like right here, you know, 1, 2, 3, You know, I can get shot from up top here. So you got to be really, really careful about your angles. And that's something we're going to go back to throughout this entire video. Notice I'm playing positioning here. Again, very similar to Fortune's Keep, where, yeah, we're going to use movement in certain situations, but the more we can use positioning, the better off we're going to be. Got in my right side, so we just use a little bit of movement there, a little bit of strafing, easy kill. Notice the mini-map pings, right? Straight across here. So what do? Right? We're in a 1v2 situation. We're going to play a little bit of positioning. Watch the positioning that I play here, though. Right? We're always thinking about that high ground, thinking about that cover. Trying to see what I can find. Notice I'm not playing super, super aggro. On Rebirth, I probably push that a little bit more aggressively because that's the nature of how Rebirth plays. When I'm playing here, I'm thinking kind of that positioning first a lot of times and then using movement when I have that 1v1 or when I need to get out of a bad situation. Where's enemy number 2? Okay, there's our mini-map ping. Obviously, we see them split. Now, in this situation, guys, I'm going to be totally honest. I guess he was AFK. He lagged out something. I don't know. I'm going to take the free kill. Not my problem. But regardless, even in this situation, if you notice these 1v1 fights, we're going to really take those as soon as we can. This is a situation where, hey, I'm going to go ahead. We slide around the corner there. We're going to use basic movement to take less damage if he was actually shooting. It is what it is. Last guy's back behind me. So, we've talked about, obviously, be ready to fight early game, loadout, positioning. We've talked about mini-map pings. Next up, guys, this is a really important one, and I want to pause before I talk about this because this is probably the number one thing that I have for you, besides positioning. Positioning in this, which is rotations. Rotations on this map are really, really weird. And it partially goes back to that 4 main POI dynamic. So, like, when we look at this situation right here, the rotation to, you know, right here, this wall, my next piece of cover, is not that far. But the number of angles that I can get shot from is crazy. And that's the big thing. I can get shot from here, you know, from here. I could technically get shot from the right side here. From here, I can get shot from these rooftops. Technically, I could get sniped from all the way over here, potentially. I can get shot. Like, the number of angles that you can constantly get shot from throughout this entire map is the biggest hurdle that we're going to have to overcome and keep in mind, is how do we constantly worry about what's happening all around us? And you can see, like, I'm just trying, even with a UAV up here, I'm just trying to get to my piece of cover and kind of work my way up. You know, same thing kind of throughout this way. I can get shot from here, you know, from here. I could technically get shot from this way, from here. Like, a lot of different angles that I can get shot from. And we got to always be prepared for that and be aware of that. Real quick, by the way, guys, as I'm going to kill this guy right here, AIM Controllers, if you haven't already, check them out. Huge Christmas sale. They are probably, in my opinion, hands down the best custom controller company out there. They are, let me quick pause. PS4, PS5, Xbox controllers, fully customizable, lifetime warranty on modded parts. So if a paddle breaks or a mouse click trigger, you get that covered under warranty. Huge discounts. They are a great company. I absolutely love mine. Very responsive paddles, and they're officially licensed from Microsoft and Sony in terms of controllers. Anyway, back to the point here. We get the UAV up, and this is where we talk about those mini-map pings, right? This is where everything starts to come into play. I rotate over, we get the kill here, we see the mini-map ping on my level, you know, right here, and then this is the distance and that third-party dynamic and, you know, the range that we're going to have to consistently be concerned about on this map. You know, that's a very far distance. We don't have many fights like this on Rebirth. Like, this would probably be what? Like, prison to factory? Like, that'd probably be the distance, except I have, like, so many angles that I can see here in a very short distance of moving, right? And that's a huge dynamic that we're going to have to really constantly be thinking about. So, be ready to fight early game, loadout, positioning, mini-map pings, rotations, aim controllers, and this is where we really start to talk about those high ground and angles, right? High ground is going to be very valuable on this map because this is exactly what I'm talking about, okay? Look how far I can see. From this spot right here, okay, I kill this guy. I can technically see these rooftops right here. I can technically see crossing. I can see here, okay? Then from there, well, we can see this rooftop right here. Okay, so then from there, we turn back this way. I can see here, I can see here, I can see here, I can see up top here, I can see over this way, I can see over this way, I can see crossing out to my right side back behind my camera here. I can see, you can see a lot from this middle area of Main Street. Oh, and by the way, I can also see out on Riverboat. Oh, and by the way, Where else can I see? I can also see backside this way here. I can see over this way here. I can see straight across. So this is not just, I know I'm in Main Street right now, but this is not just a Main Street dynamic, right? This happens all across this map where you have really long sight lines and really far sight lines that you can see. And this is where the POIs bleed together, right? We are technically in Main Street, but like, riverboats right there. I mean, they tend to bleed together. I think somebody did put it best that responded to me on Twitter. It does feel like a little bit of every map. You know, at times we have the speed and the pacing of Rebirth. At times we have the crazy fast pace of Area 99, where the POIs bleed together and you're constantly moving. Sometimes we have, honestly, I was sitting up top here and I was thinking about Vondel. Like, this feels like Vondel, right? Or Fortune's Keep. So we kind of have a little bit of everything throughout this map. We got this guy down low here. By the way, high ground and angles, always, always, always keep your head on a swivel, because you never know when somebody's going to pop up on a rooftop right across from you, right? That's that Vondel dynamic that we always keep in mind. So high ground and angles are super important. High ground in the sense that we want to play that high ground. We want to kind of put ourselves in a good position. But angles, we need to limit the number of angles we can get shot from and always keep track of that cover. This guy was definitely using a paddle controller. Did it help him? No, my paddle controller is better. Actually, my brain was better. That's really what it was. I just let that guy dance around and do his own thing. He doesn't, who knows what that guy wants to do. But we're in a really, really good position here. Once again, we're going to talk about rotations here, okay? This guy straight across. We're going to take that easy kill. I am going to be doing a full video on how to drop 20 kills here soon. I'm leaning towards, for those of you guys that are subscribed, 4-4-6-6. 4 kills in the first, 4 kills in the second, 6 in the third, 6 in Endgame. I need to test it out just a little bit more. But this is just another great example right here of the high ground angles, cover dynamic, and always keeping our head on a swivel. Right? So all of a sudden, obviously we use weapon pings and minimap pings here, but like I'm shooting at this guy that's over to my left side, and now all of a sudden I'm getting shot from a different angle here. I don't really know where. As I turn around, I'm never going to be able to see this guy, right? Like I try to, if we pull this back to here, like I kind of try to see where this guy is, but like I have absolutely no idea. I'm never going to be able to pick that up quick enough. I just know that I need to move and try to get off this rooftop here, give myself some cover, and then we re-engage. One guy up top. Guys, buildings are the exact same. Clear your buildings. Don't be too over aggressive. You know, try to do what you can in terms of head glitches. Obviously, don't overcommit and full send into there, but be really, really strategic. Obviously, when we talk about success on any map, guys, UAVs is going to be a huge tip for you. The more information you can have, the better off you're going to be. Really putting yourself in a good position to understand where you can get shot from, understand where your next fight is. Obviously, we can see that to the right side here, so what do? I end up buying a PA here, I think. Yeah. But what do? We see this team to my left side right here. This is a pretty easy one, right? We're going to take high ground. Did not mean to do that. That really chalked this whole entire fight, to be honest with you. I was in such a good spot for this team, and it just chalked the entire fight. Now, one of the most important things, guys, again, when it comes to the maps being very similar, is this screams Vondel. Right? Does this play that I'm about to make not remind you of Vondel and like Fortune's Keep in the town? Right? Like parkour. 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 Parkour, parkour, parkour. You know, and now again, look at my sight lines. Here, 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 here. You know, I've got so many different sight lines. Now, my whole entire back is exposed, right? That's a little bit of a concern of mine, you know, but I can also see over here. I can see over here. I can see a lot from this area in terms of this by getting that high ground and making sure that I still have some cover in front of me, you know, and then I can just kind of peek over this way here. We see that guy. Unfortunately, don't get any shots, but we're in a really good position. One guy down below. Not quite. One guy crossing over. Again, we get those high ground. That guy can't really do anything. He's in a, you know, pretty bad spot. Now, notice that I'm in a bad spot as well. You know, I'm getting shot from somewhere. I get sniped, but I have cover, right? And that's that cover dynamic that we do need to keep in mind. Now, look at what we got here, okay? We got the rotation on the minimap, right? Boom. We got guy, we got a guy over here. So, like, we know that we need to rotate. I would say, honestly, when it comes to rotations, not only do we need to keep track of that, like, cover and stuff, we also just need to try to rotate early. There's a lot of times where it's just the rotations are weird because they're not too far, but you're so exposed. Like, again, this isn't too far of a rotation, but like I am exposed from a lot of different angles here. And of course the TTK is still fast. So as I go to kind of push right here, you know, I'm in a really bad position where I can get shot from 4, 5, 6 different angles in this moment. And when we talk about that cover and angles dynamic, this is where third partying on this map is absolutely going to be a thing. Right? Like, there's that high ground dynamic. You know, I technically pushed up the hill and I was in a good position to challenge the guy that was straight ahead of me, but I unfortunately just get shot in the back. Now, in this situation, you know, we have loadout right there, so we're going to go ahead, but I actually want to pull this back. I do want to talk about regaining for a second, guys. Just be very, very strategic again on your regain. You're going to see it right here. Again, solo trios. That's a Vondo dynamic right there. 3 guys in the building. But the biggest thing that I want to highlight right here, this was in the previous game, is the loadout, right? So loadout's right here. But again, you've got to be really, really careful because in Rebirth, like a lot of times the loadouts land like close to one building. So it's like you kind of land close by and rotate over. But the problem here is, again, think about your angles. Like, technically speaking, this building, top or bottom inside, 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 technically probably from this window too, top or bottom inside, top or bottom inside. Like, you've got to be really, really careful because if you full send this loadout, who knows where somebody is, and you're going to see kind of how this situation plays out, and then we'll go back to that previous game. But I want you to just kind of see, like, I knew that there was somebody over, one guy right there. Then all of a sudden, I kind of am in a really, really bad spot. I think I get shot from back, or glass back behind me. You know, I'm worried about that resurgence timer, but I also know that I need to hit loadout. Now, all of a sudden, I'm much closer, and it's much quicker for me to grab. And what do you end up seeing? Sure enough, there's that guy on the rooftop, right? Now, I am able to get inside. I'm ultimately able to reset there, but I just want you to see the importance of not kind of over-committing in terms of flying back in on loadout. I mean, I kind of do it here. I do get away with it a little bit. Now, granted, I just had rotated from over this direction, so I kind of knew it was safe. This was definitely an aggressive play. I also knew that there were loadout guns right here, so... But the biggest thing is, guys, just be... I don't think you can full send loadouts nearly as much as you do on Rebirth with this map. I think you're going to get punished for that. Now, again, look at our rotation right here. 13 kills, 6 teams still alive. I'm in a pretty good spot. Still a very healthy endgame. Yup. Make sure... I just wanted my resurgence timer there. But now you're going to see me... I just want to get up top. And this is that rotation dynamic, right? This guy's just kind of rotating out in the open. Fortunately, I don't execute. I don't know what the meta guns are yet, guys. I'm not 100% sure. We'll figure it out over the next few days and few weeks, but one guy inside. It's that third-party dynamic, right? Inside big building. I'm just going to go keep the pressure on this guy. He actually almost gets me with the knife. No! And I think endgames are really, really big on this too, as well. You know, endgames remind me of those Fortune's Keep and Vondo endgames more than they do the Rebirth endgames. One guy outside. Nice. Minimap pings. One guy to my right. One guy kind of out in the open to the right side. So I got to be really, really careful. Biggest thing that I notice in this moment, I hear the timer ticking down. And I know that respawn's about to end. So I really can't die right here. Now... What is your thought process in this moment? Watch what mine is. Right? Like, I'm thinking about high ground right here. Right? I'm like, okay, how can I get a little bit of a better angle here where I can get some high ground, get some outplay potential, give myself some cover, and put myself in a good spot, but I also still have to rotate if you look at the minimap. Right? I have to rotate out in the open. Watch how I play this, though. Watch this rotation. I think that was a sniper. Sniper! We get a little lucky there. Little lucky. Very lucky, actually. Yep. So look at where they are. Right? 2 guys outside. 1 guy flying in. Don't overcommit there. But watch my rotation here. Look at the way I go. This is where, like, I am very exposed right here, but because it's not a far rotation, I can sneak in. And then from here, we just got to find some cover. You know, you can see those guys back behind me over to my kind of back right side. And one of the biggest dynamics of this, I keep telling you guys, like, hey, try to rotate early when you can, get in zone. Because of that rotation dynamic where it's very out in the open at times, it's very easy to hold people out of circle. Like, very, very easy. Reloading mag. Where are we right now? We're in circle. We've got some cover inside the building here. You know, it's not my favorite spot to be, but we're in a good spot. And backside behind me, guys, back over here is train, which the buildings are all super, super small. That's a really tough place to be. That's just something we'll learn over time now. Where are you? There he is. So he rotates out the window. And then I end up hearing a bunch of guys above me. So I'm just chilling here. We're just playing patient. See what I can find. Maybe get an easy kill, but I'm looking, but I'm not being too over aggressive. Another tough rotation for me.
High value target located. Bring them down.
I hear him backside to my left. Am I the only one that feels audio is actually not terrible? I feel like audio is okay here. I don't know if it's just me or not. Yeah, I know those guys are up top. The moment they start shooting, I'm going. But again, watch this rotation here. Rotations and positioning, guys, are two of the hardest things about this map. Rotations and positioning. And what it really comes down to is cover, right? If you're rotating, you better have cover. If I execute just a little bit better, that guy's dead. That guy's dead. What it all comes down to when it comes to rotations and positioning is your cover. And by the way, I should add, when it comes to your positioning and finding cover, it's from making sure you have cover from a lot of different angles. Like, I'm very exposed to my back right now, but I don't really have anywhere else that I can be. So I just got to be really, really careful. Use any cover that I can. That's why I slide right back to this sign here, just to buy myself a little window of cover to get plated and figure out what's going on.
You're in the top three. Don't let up now. 3 squads left in the Warzone.
Yep.
Stay alert.
1v4 situation, right? I don't know if it's 2v2 or 1v3. Did not think that guy was going to be right there, to be honest with you. Now, where do we go from here? High ground, right? Let's play our high ground. I don't know if this... I don't know what gun this is. I don't know if it's meta or not. Maybe if I get a slightly faster TTK... I don't know. Maybe it is the meta. Maybe I'm shooting... I don't know. I think... First day back, not knowing what the guns are, not having guns leveled up, I think that's part of the reason that I end up losing this right here. It's a 1v3, so I should lose this, right? I absolutely should lose that. They made a good play right there. I had the opportunity for the 20, didn't quite get it, but it is what it is. I think, again, when I'm shooting a little bit better and I have guns leveled up and stuff, I'll be in a much better position. But here are the 10 things, guys. Be ready to fight early game. Keep in mind those 4 main POIs, right? Be ready to fight early game, loadout, positioning, minimap pings, rotations, aim controllers. Make sure you guys go check them out. Link in the pinned comment. High ground and angles, regaining on loadout. Be very careful about that. Make sure you pop your UAVs, and end game in circle with cover, then power position. As I always say, let's get better today, and I will see you tomorrow.